5 things millionaires do that you don't. Have you ever noticed how some people always seem to have money on their side, while you feel trapped in a routine of bills, invoices, and a salary that disappears at the end of the month? It seems like money is always further away than it should be. And you wonder, why do they manage it and I don't? Today I want to show you something that few people realize. These are 5 simple, yet powerful things that millionaires do every day, and that the vast majority of people don't even imagine. And it's not about working harder or winning the lottery. It's about choices, habits, and attention to detail that make all the difference. In today's video, I'm going to show you these 5 attitudes and how you can start applying some of them to your life right now. If you feel it makes sense, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and share it, because this content can change the way you look at your money. And stay with me until the end, because the last one might seem obvious, but it's precisely the one most people ignore, and that, in fact, is what makes millionaires get where they are. One of the first things millionaires do is think about the future, but not in the way most people imagine. They don't spend hours dreaming of impossible wealth or setting grandiose goals that will never be achieved. What they do is much simpler and much more powerful. They look to the next day, to the next week, to the next month, and make conscious choices about every dollar that comes in and goes out. While most people simply let their money slip away, buying without thinking or paying bills automatically, they stop. They review every decision and ask themselves, will this bring me closer to or further away from what I want? And it's not just a momentary reflection, it's something they do daily, with every small decision. A very common example. You receive your salary and, without even realizing it, you pay some bills, buy something on impulse, maybe an expensive lunch or an item you saw on sale, and when you realize it, there's nothing left to save. The millionaire. He does it differently. He organizes beforehand. He saves for the future, sets aside a portion for emergencies, another portion for investments or opportunities that may arise, and only then uses what's left to spend. This seems simple, but it's precisely this silent discipline that makes the difference. It's not about buying less or depriving yourself of everything. It's about having clarity about what each choice means for your future. It's about transforming awareness into habit. And it's this consistency, repeated every month, that creates true wealth, because while you're reacting to the money, it's working for those who already understand where it should go. And there's more. Thinking about the future isn't just about money, it's about freedom. It's about not feeling held hostage by a salary that's never enough, about being able to make decisions without stress, knowing that every step has been calculated. It's realizing that every real saved, every planned expense, every conscious decision is a stone you place on the path to your own independence. The second thing millionaires do is not confuse spending with investing. And note, I'm not talking about the stock market, expensive real estate, or anything complicated here. I'm talking about a sense of value. They analyze each purchase and ask themselves, will this bring me any return, experience, or learning, or am I just spending to fill a momentary void? That's where the big difference appears. While many people buy expensive clothes just to show off, cars that lose value the moment they leave the dealership, or gadgets that are trendy but never really use, millionaires choose differently. They buy what truly adds value, what is useful, or what generates some kind of experience that is worth the money invested. For example, imagine you want to buy a new cell phone. Most people will choose the most eye-catching model, the one that's trendy, the one everyone is buying. They'll spend the money, and the following month they'll probably feel like it was money thrown away because the device didn't change anything in their lives. The millionaire, on the other hand, will think, will this device make my work easier? Will it help me organize my life? Will it last longer? Or will it provide some learning experience? The decision is based on real value, not on impulse or appearance. The same applies to clothes, courses, travel, or even hobbies. They understand the difference between momentary pleasure and real investment in the future. And here's the crucial point. This doesn't mean they live deprived or don't enjoy life. On the contrary, they know exactly where spending makes sense and where spending is wasteful. It is this awareness that, over time, separates those who merely survive on money from those who truly accumulate wealth. In your daily life, you can start applying this by observing your own habits. Before buying something, ask yourself what the real value of that choice is. Will it add something to your life, or will it just satisfy a passing impulse? The constant practice of this questioning transforms the way you deal with money, without having to cut out everything you like, but prioritizing what really matters. The third thing millionaires do is value time more than money. And here's a detail that many people don't realize. For them, spending hours on things that don't matter is more expensive than any amount of money they might lose. They see time as a resource that never comes back, something much more valuable than any bill or cent. While most of us try to save money by any means necessary, we often waste hours on tasks that won't yield anything relevant. Solving small problems alone, organizing complicated spreadsheets, spending hours waiting for service, or trying to understand something that could be delegated. For most people, this seems normal, but for millionaires, it's simply inefficient. They find ways to automate processes, hire help when it's worthwhile, or use tools that solve these tasks quickly. The goal is not to spend less, but to free up time for what really matters. Thinking about strategies, learning, creating opportunities, and making decisions that can multiply money or bring financial freedom. A common example. Imagine you need to organize your accounts, control payments, track bills, check statements, and review your expenses. You could spend hours doing this alone, which is tiring and repetitive. A millionaire, in the same scenario, probably uses software that automates much of the work, or delegates it to someone who does it more efficiently, thus gaining precious hours to focus on what truly generates results. Another example. An average person spends afternoons trying to negotiate every small purchase or discount without much strategy, while a millionaire can invest time in learning how to negotiate large contracts, opportunities that bring real returns, or even develop new sources of income. The difference lies in the proportion. They only spend effort where the return is worth the time invested, while most of us waste energy on tasks that don't change anything. Ultimately, what they understand is simple, but ignored by almost everyone. Money can be recovered, time cannot. And how you choose to spend your hours determines whether you will continue chasing money or create a cycle in which money works in your favor. The fourth thing millionaires do is be consistent, even when no one is watching. And here's the secret. It's not about big decisions, strokes of luck, or miraculous investments. What really matters are the small choices repeated every day. Saving a little money regularly, reviewing expenses, avoiding impulse purchases, and reflecting before acting are silent habits, almost imperceptible in daily life, but which, over time, transform into enormous results. It's like a constantly dripping tap. It seems like it makes no difference, but after months, the reservoir fills up. Imagine someone who, every month, tracks their expenses, reviews their goals, adjusts minor flaws, and corrects what can be improved. It's not exciting, it doesn't make social media stories, it doesn't become news. But it works. It's precisely this silent discipline that separates those who manage to accumulate wealth from those who spend years without realizing that nothing has changed. Most people ignore this. They think they need a stroke of luck, an unexpected promotion, or a miraculous investment. And when they look back, they realize they spent years spending and reacting, without building any foundation. The millionaire, on the other hand, understands that wealth doesn't come from extraordinary events, but from the conscious repetition of small decisions every day. An everyday example. Someone who decides to save 50 Brazilian reals every month might think it makes no difference. But this habit, combined with continuous adjustments to spending, the self-control they create, and conscious decisions about each purchase, builds up an accumulation that no one notices at first, but which, years later, is enormous. It's the power of invisible consistency. Deep down, they know that quiet discipline overcomes momentary impulses. While most get lost in distractions, they follow a path that doesn't seem exciting, but which, in the end, is what truly transforms lives. And the fifth thing, perhaps the most important of all, is that millionaires understand that money isn't just about earning more, but about not losing what you already have. They know that every effort to accumulate wealth can be destroyed by small, almost invisible oversights that go unnoticed by most people. Therefore, they control, monitor, and review every detail of their financial lives. They know exactly where every penny goes. And this attention to detail is silent, almost imperceptible, but powerful. It's what prevents invisible waste that, over time, can destroy any chance of consistently accumulating wealth. While many focus only on increasing income, they take care of what they have already achieved, and it is this combination that guarantees real growth. In everyday life, this can be as simple as reviewing your monthly subscriptions, those you don't even remember signing up for but that keep deducting from your account. Or noticing small expenses that add up without you realizing it, that expensive coffee every day, the frequent delivery, apps and services you don't even use. Avoiding unnecessary installment payments and thinking before buying anything is also part of this careful approach. It's not about depriving yourself or living in fear of spending. It's about mindfulness, awareness, and choice. Every penny you save or carefully allocate will add up in the long run, building security and financial freedom. It's the difference between living a life chasing money and letting money work for you. What millionaires understand is simple, but ignored by many. What you don't lose is worth as much as what you gain. And when you apply this understanding to small daily actions, it transforms into solid results that are invisible at first, but extremely powerful over time. And here's something to think about. How many times have you bought something and, the next day, realized you didn't even need it? How many times have you let money slip away without even noticing, thinking it was normal? Millionaires have learned to notice these details. They've turned awareness into habit. If you identified with any of these situations, leave a comment below. Which of these 5 things do you feel you most need to start doing? Commenting is more than just giving an opinion. It's putting your intention into the universe. So, to conclude, think about this. It's not about working harder, nor about winning the lottery. It's about choices, consistency, and attention to detail that everyone ignores. Start small, but start today. Every decision counts. Every habit built makes a difference. And once again, leave a comment below. Which of these 5 attitudes will you apply first? I want to see you demonstrate it. If you haven't already subscribed, take advantage now. Subscribe to the channel to continue learning about how to think differently, organize your finances, and start acting like someone who truly wants to transform their future.